Okay, so today, what I think I'm gonna do, and I said it when I talked about the new planer that I got, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try making some coasters. I spoke briefly about the piece of oak that I have. I planed it down. I think I'm gonna incorporate a piece of mahogany. I'm not gonna try and get fancy with it right now. I'm really trying to just understand the technique, gluing everything up. And of course that'll have to dry. It's 7 o'clock at night here, it's cold, I'll have to take it inside and let it dry. But I just wanted to take you guys through the process, and I hope that it turns out good. I think what I'm gonna do, I believe this piece is about 4 inches. I'm probably gonna make them around 3 3/4, I believe. I've done some research online, and of course you can make them any size you want, but most people have been making them around 3 3/4, 3 1/2, whatever. So what I think I'm gonna do first to get started is I'm gonna take this 4-inch piece and I'm gonna go ahead and just rip it right down. I'm hoping to get 4 pieces out of this, shouldn't be an issue, but I'm gonna rip this down. I'm actually gonna take this piece of mahogany, and it is thicker than this, but we'll plane it down when we get to that point. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glue it up. So once this is ripped, I'm gonna have this mahogany, I'm gonna kind of have it offset a little bit. So once I rip it, I'm gonna glue this mahogany, and then I'm gonna glue another piece of this oak on the other side of that. So then I will rip this edge, because it's got most of the oak, to the desired width that I want. So let's get started. All right, so I let this sit overnight. It was too late last night to do anything else with it, so it sat and cured overnight. What you can see here is what I did is, so I had my 4-inch piece. I ripped it on the table saw, offset from center. I put my piece of mahogany in, glued it up. I cleaned up the excess glue the best I could on the back side. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trim these ends off, get this mahogany off, and I'm gonna start running it through the joiner. I'm gonna actually just make sure that I have a nice flat surface on one side, and then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and run it through the planer. One thing that after I glued it up, I should have ran this piece of mahogany through the planer a few times to get it a little bit closer to the surface. So it'll take a little bit for me to remove this all in one piece, but not a big deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and stick around. All right, so I have that nice flat surface. I'm gonna go ahead and get the planer set up, and I'm gonna run it through and get it flat on this side. All right, so you can see here, this is the side that I'm gonna use. I have some oak, I have a piece of mahogany, pretty simple. As time goes on and I get better and techniques get better and the weather warms up, that's a big factor right now. I definitely want to do a lot more different styles. I possibly thought about kind of going this way with another piece, cutting this off and then putting a thinner piece of mahogany. But for now, I'm going to go this route. The next step is I'm going to go ahead and get my, make sure my end here is jointed good. That's the piece, that's the side I'm going to go against the table saw, because I'm going to rip the wider side to the proper width, which I think I'm going to go with like 3 3/4, something like that. So the next step, I'm going to go ahead and rip this down to the width that I need. All right, so I had my piece. I cut them to the width desired, which in my case, it was 3 3/4. As you can see, they come out pretty nice. I, of course, sanded them with multiple grades of paper to their silky smooth. I routered the edges. I just tipped my router upside down actually, and just went around. That worked out pretty well. I don't have a router table yet, so that worked out really well doing that. So the next thing that I will do at some point is I'm gonna make a holder for it. And just to explain real quick what I would do there, in my case, what I'm gonna do is make a base that's slightly larger than these. I'm going to position this down on the base that I want to use and mark out where I'm going to put some round dowels, maybe 3-4 inches long. And I just need to make sure that my base, like if I use 3/8 of an inch dowel, just tiny dowel, I'm going to make sure my base is 3/8 of an inch wider than that. And that's going to be pretty simple. I'll probably use some of that leftover oak that I have and just cut it. I'm not going to do anything fancy with it with any gluing. Unless somebody's got some ideas on why, the only thing that occurred with these is after I cut them from the length to the desired width, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, they slightly cupped. It's nothing drastic. When they're on the table, they rock just a hair, and they're cupping where this glue joint is at. Now I don't know if it's because this is off center. If it was more centered in a wider piece, it would be strengthened. I don't know. I don't know if going across with another piece would have strengthened it. I have no idea, but I still think they turned out pretty well. I'm going to get some little, I don't know what they call them. They're like little fuzzy, sticky things that you can put on the corners to not scuff your furniture. So it's not so much cupped that it's going to become a problem. By the time I put those on, there won't be any rocking at all because they're thick enough. But the next thing I'm going to do is finish them off with a finish. Everybody's got their own ideas how to finish. I don't have the finish purchased yet that I want to use. I was just going to go with more of a teak oil. I did some research and they said that it's good for harder woods, mahogany, oak, things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead, get some, put them on these and be done. I'm not going to show that on video. I think most people know it's going to get a wipe on, get a rag, wipe it on, let it dry, done. I am using teak oil just for the fact that I wanted to use it on the mahogany for the work table and in front of me on the miter saw station. So that's the only reason why I'm using that. I've seen people use spray lacquer that had a lot of good luck, polyurethane, everything else. I just want something that's going to soak in the wood, bring out the grain of the wood, because it is very appealing. But other than that, this completes this build. I just wanted to take some wood and do a little trinket just to kind of get my my technique down and get better at it. I'm sure as I go along, I'll get better and learn from my mistakes. And if anybody has any input on maybe why this cupped on me a little bit, please just shoot me a comment. I'm willing to learn and see what other people have to say. As I get more projects completed way down the road, I'm going to take a lot more of that scrap wood and build other things. I'm not just going to go purchase wood and just make coasters and breadboards and things like that. I'd really like to take a lot of the cutoffs and a lot of the scrap that I do in the future and make stuff like that. I am hopefully in a video soon, I'm going to build a cart for this planer. What I believe I decided to do is build just a simple cart, 2x4 frame, probably throwing some plywood in there somewhere. Thought about doing a drawer in the very bottom, no drawer slides, no nothing, just a box with a drawer and be done. I thought about keeping the inside open for my small 6-gallon air compressor. The planer and the air compressor obviously don't go along together, but I'm trying to look for anything to keep storage. So the planer can be on top, it's going to be mobile, I can wheel it all around, the air compressor is going to be underneath, and then I can take the air hose around and blow off machines or air gun or whatever. But I'm still deciding that. I don't want to build a cart just for the planer and just have kind of a solid base. I really want to take advantage of anything that I can leave open to store other things. And I can use the drawer for all my air compressor fittings. I can use it for extra joiner blades, planer blades, anything that could be close by. So just wanted to fill you in on that. I appreciate you guys watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like what you're seeing, and I hope to have a video soon of the planer cart. The next thing that I really like to do is I'm hoping to look around here and have some scrap plywood. I would like to, I think I'm gonna build a shroud around the miter saw station. As anybody that has a miter saw, it's got a ton of dust. It is piling up on the windowsill from very few cuts. So I believe I'm gonna be building a box. I pulled out my old dust collector. I may incorporate that from the bottom, but again, I'm going to be doing some research, doing some drawing up before I do anything, but that's hopefully here in the next couple weeks as well. So, and as time goes on, I'm going to continue to either make modifications to the miter saw station and or additions, obviously, because I'd like to continue with that build as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.